Hi, I'm Ann of All Trades, and today I'm going to talk about a project that is basically my entire lifetime in the making, and that is restoring an old farm truck. I've always wanted to live on a farm, and I finally do, and I always wanted to restore a farm truck with my grandfather, but unfortunately he's no longer with us. So in his memory, I get to take this whole thing apart and put it back together. And I'm super thankful that Craftsman has come along as a sponsor to make doing this dream project a reality.
I get my hands dirty, they show me no mercy, so I just keep working.
My grandfather was a larger-than-life character in my life. I spent so much of my childhood in my grandfather's shop, working side by side, whether we were working on the same thing or working on separate things. It was so special to just spend that time with him, doing something that I know that he loved doing, and getting to know him in that way. And that's formulated the way that I want to pursue so many of my relationships today. 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to restore my first car, a 1965 Ford Mustang, and it was an incredible project. To be totally honest, I had no idea what I was doing. I did a whole bunch of YouTubing and other things along the way, but the greatest resource was that I had a friend who allowed me to just work in his shop, and I could ask questions when I had questions, but really I just sat there and he did his thing and I worked on my car, and it was one of the most special summers I've spent in my life. The simple act of starting with something that was broken and unusable and turning it into something that I could literally speed down the highway in was an experience that has as yet been unparalleled. So suffice to say, I'm very excited to get this bad boy back on the road as well. So let's talk a little bit about this particular truck and its story. This is a 1953 Chevy 3100, and my friend Melissa and I found it on Craigslist, and we knew as soon as we saw it that we needed to hop in the car and drive a few hours and pick it up. We managed to get it on the trailer, and it was in a somewhat drivable state at that time. And knowing that we had this new project and this new adventure that we were about to embark upon together was so exciting. And we were all giggles the whole way back. Look at that beauty! Woo! I've always loved a great road trip, especially one with a happy ending like that one! And of course, Melissa is going to help me a ton on the project, which I'm super excited about. We're just going to tinker with our little wrenches. Woo! We miraculously got it off the trailer, even though there was a huge problem with the gear shift and it actually kept falling out of gear. So it was actually a pretty terrifying thing getting it off that trailer and into the driveway. But thankfully we finally did, and it got parked here. So we got it off the trailer, but after that it was pretty much a stationary object.
So since I can barely move or barely talk, Melissa came over. Oh, she's hiding behind the hood. But anyway, she came over to help me work on my truck because obviously the sun is shining and that's the only time we can do it because I don't have a garage. Remember all our talks about the importance of hoarding? Yep, that's about to come in real handy.
We couldn't really get it started. It, for some reason, had a marine battery installed in it. There was a problem with the wiring harness that would basically meant that we had to constantly be disconnecting and reconnecting the battery. Is that my battery dying? The first thing that I had to do was remove the old cables. They were just totally stripped out. The connections were rusty. They basically just had to go.
And then we get the real joy of detaching this from its friend. This is the part where we find out that this was attached with a plastic bag. So funny side note is that we actually did find one thing that was attached with a plastic bag and painter's tape on the gas can, so obviously that was great. Anyway, as you can see here, these are just totally torn up and desperately in need of replacing, so that's just what we're gonna do.
So the next thing that I had to do was strip the wires to prepare them to accept the connections. Then I had to attach those connections, and then we had to attach them to the truck.
So we'll get rid of this old battery cable and replace it with this shiny new one.
Then I installed the battery turn-off switch, connected it to the truck.
And the reason, besides just good practice, we're using this terminal switch is because there is a weird wiring issue with the truck right now where it actually won't shut off the battery for some reason. And so one of the headlights or one of the taillights stays on all the time, which is not ideal.
Connected the black and the red battery cables, and then we tried starting the car.
We have a good connection and everything else. Let's see if we can start her up.
Of course, that didn't work. So here we are, kind of back at square one, except now we know a little bit more than we did when we started this project. We know that we need a new ignition switch. We know that we need to replace the wiring harness. We know that we need to figure out how to move this so that we can get on level ground and there can get a gas supply to the engine, and we'll just see how things progress from there. We did get it fired up one time, which was really, really glorious. The thing that I love about restoring old cars or old tools or anything is that it's basically an Easter egg hunt. You're always looking for the next problem so that you can fix it, and it's not a constant frustration. It's a constant opportunity to learn more about the vehicle, and every single thing that I have to replace is an opportunity to learn how to replace it. It's an opportunity to know my vehicle more intimately, and it's another skill that I get to put in my old tool belt. As I said at the beginning of this video, Craftsman sponsored this project, and they provided me with a new toolkit of things to use during the restoration process. And while these tools may not be as greasy as the ones I remember using in my grandfather's shop, I cannot wait to get these their own coat of grime from this truck's restoration process as well. First things first, we used a terminal brush to clean up the terminals and make sure there was not any gunk on them, inhibiting a perfect connection of the battery cables. Then we used a terminal spreader to spread the terminals and make sure that we could get them open and onto the battery. And this is my absolute favorite wrench to use, not only because they've got a flexible head, but also because you can get into really tight spaces and ratchet, which is really great, especially when you don't have a ton of space to work and you're working blind, like I was underneath the engine. To prepare the cables, I used a series of different pliers, used this handy dandy box knife, various size screwdrivers. We also used various socket wrenches. I had to use my mirror and my magnet a few times when I dropped things.
What just fell off? Oh, a washer.
Again?
Hold, please. I have it. I'm gonna be so intimately familiar. This is like so ridiculous because this is the one patch of grass we actually have. Like everything else is bare dirt. Of course this car couldn't die on a patch of bare dirt where I could actually find the things that I'm constantly dropping.
And this awesome battery powered magnet actually came in pretty handy because I was able to just stick it places and illuminate wherever I was working. And of course, no job site is complete without some tunes. I cannot wait to share the next installment of the adventure that is restoring this old truck with you, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Another huge shout out to Craftsman for sponsoring this project. They are the ones who made this whole adventure possible. And a huge thank you to you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and for supporting my channel in that way. If you would like to support me further, you could go and buy an Ann of All Trades t-shirt. The link for that is below. The link for my Patreon is also below. I hope you leave this video feeling challenged, inspired, and excited to get outside and to do something with your own hands as well. Cheers.